Hey everyone, and welcome to the Biz Boyz broadcast, where we give you a first-hand perspective of what it's like to grow a young business. In this video, we're going over our Berri WiFi update. So our business is Berri WiFi, where we try to use smart Wi-Fi to help small businesses collect some data that gives them more information and direction on what they can do to improve.
Yep, that is absolutely right. And we came to you last week. We talked about how we got our first client. We did our first install to the client's location. And now we're going to talk to you about what happened since then. So we've gathered a lot of data, and we've actually met with the client a couple of times to gain some feedback and impressions.
Their establishment did not burn down, by the way.
Yes, thankfully.
Yeah. It was a close one.
That would have been bad. But hey, third time's the charm, right? Those other two businesses, I don't know where they're at now. But anyway, so we're going to give you some first impressions that the client gave us on the Berri WiFi product, and we want to share it with you guys so that you get a feel for how we're operating our business and how we're growing and all that. So,
hint, it's got some issues right now.
Yeah, so he gave some impressions that, hey, the product is working, people seem to be using it, but unfortunately there are some downfalls to it. Yeah. Do you want to talk about that first one, Russ?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing when we started collecting the data, one of the facets of our thing is this dashboard that shows all of the data that we collect, and we organize it in a way that gives the business an easy way to look and identify issues or things that they can improve on. One section of that is an internal survey from their customers. So when their customers log in, they fill out a survey of questions that the business asks, but only the business can see those responses. It's not a public thing. So when we started collecting the data, we saw that pretty much everybody was giving a 5 out of 5 star review.
Yeah.
And we weren't getting many reviews for the number of people that were logging in or visiting the business.
Yeah, and that kind of defeats the point of internal feedback, is for customers to be able to give their perspective on the business just to the business owner. So none of this is advertised, and it's supposed to be free, so they can give them all the kind of criticism. But unfortunately, people are too nice these days, and they're giving them 5 out of 5 stars, which sounds good, but it's
not helpful.
Yeah, it's not unhelpful. And in that case, the business was like, well, if they're giving me 5 out of 5, I want the world to know about this. I don't want it to be on a dashboard that only I can see. I want this to be publicized. So they ultimately recommended us to try to get those survey responses, that feedback, on Yelp, so that can be publicized to the rest of the world.
Yeah, so we're working on that. I think we have a way forward to get that integrated in, and
yeah, I think from my perspective, I think it's going to be like a dual capability where we still have this internal feedback if needed, but all good reviews go to the public, so that it serves both purposes of growing the business and talking about how good the business is.
We're filtering out all the bad reviews and only posting the good ones.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that.
We'll have to figure that out logistically. But
yeah, maybe it's if they have criticism they want to give, they only go through that route. But we'll figure it out. So right now we have basically all of our surveys going directly to Yelp. For upon a Wi-Fi login, we direct them to the Yelp page to give a Yelp review on that specific business. So we'll see how that goes in the coming weeks after we've integrated that.
Yeah, the difficulty is just that they are asked for a review when they're still like right in the establishment. When they first log into Wi-Fi, we don't know if they'll have a significant amount of time to have something to review. I always hate when people ask me for like to give tip or something at a business before they've actually served me. It's like, you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyway.
We'll have to balance that. So another thing that the client gave to us was that there's just in general a low number of Wi-Fi logins when compared to the people who actually go in the establishment, in the salon. So we have to figure out a way to fix that, because this Berri WiFi product thrives on people logging in to the Wi-Fi. And if there's not a lot of people logging in, there is no value to this product. So that's a real problem we knew that we were going to face before we even started this.
They probably get 50-ish customers a day in that shop, maybe more, I don't know. But we're only getting like two or three like people logging in per day.
It's not
very
good.
low.
we really need to figure out how to fix that. And one thing that we're implementing that we just sent to the client is just a simple flyer on the reception desk of the business, so that when people log in or when the people enter the business, they know right away that there's a login Wi-Fi that they can use that doesn't require any passwords or anything. It's just your social media. So we're going to see if that simple solution makes a big difference to the overall Wi-Fi login number.
And there's actually a couple. There's one on the desk that you have to check in at, and then there's one in the little waiting area if you get there a little early or your hairdresser's taking too long. The little waiting area has a sign too.
Yep, and we'll have to see if it improves it significantly. This is something we'll have to consider when we gain more clients as being a standard to the Berri WiFi package. So we'll see how that goes. We're also thinking of we're trying to think of other things, but that was the easiest low-hanging fruit. So we just basically sent it to the client and say, hey, let us know if this helps you, and we'll see it in the numbers, and we'll report back next week on what happens.
Definitely.
All right, and the last one. You want to take this one, Russ?
Sure. Yeah. So everybody that logs in has to go through a login portal that asks them to log in with some sort of social media or their email. Now the social media, whatever's public on your profile, is how we get the data that we do, the average age, gender, whatever that goes to this business. Unfortunately, everybody that has logged in so far, almost everybody, has logged in via email, which isn't bad, and we need that option for people who don't have a social media account so they can access Wi-Fi. But when everybody uses email, we get no demographics data for the business. So the business doesn't know if they're going to do marketing or whatnot. They don't know if they want to advertise more to women, more to old people, young people. That was the idea of the data, but we're not collecting any of that because everybody's logging via email.
Yeah, I think the current numbers is like of the 50-ish connections we have to the Berri WiFi product at this point, only 4 of them used Facebook as a login. The rest use an email. And like you said, that doesn't really help out the product. It really diminishes the value.
Yep.
And a solution to that is we just remove the email option as a login to the Wi-Fi, but the client is hesitant to do that because he's afraid that will just have people not log in at all. Right. Which is even worse for the Berri WiFi product. So
I'd be curious to know what it would do. I would like to try it for like a week, but it's all at that point it's up to the client. You know, you have to serve your customer. So
and that's the thing for B2B sales is it's really about making sure that business is comfortable with the product and sees the value. And we can't just make all the changes in the world, even though we'd want to. We have to really work with them. It's really like a consulting gig we've got right now to get their permission.
Now those are all the negatives. The positives is that it works in that we set up the router and the online platform so that when people log in, we get the data, we can display it to the customer, and they have data to use. Whether or not it's super useful right now to them, it sounds like not yet, but we're working on that.
But to wrap this up, we want to basically have a statistic or a measure that we update every week so that you could see and we could quantify Berri WiFi's growth as a business. And what we're going to propose in this video, now that we have our first client, is 2 simple numbers. How many clients do we have, and how many connections to our product via people logging into the Wi-Fi do we have across all of our clients? So, we currently have 1 client and 52 connections on this right now, and this has been going for a couple weeks. So that is currently where we're at, and we're going to hopefully see that number grow. Hopefully.
Especially that first one. I want those client numbers up.
Yeah, because our business really thrives on number of clients, not connections. But the connections kind of help us understand that how are we growing per client.
Oh yeah, and we were talking about ways we might be able to increase the client count. It's possible we might try to reach out to some agencies and referral programs that will help us reach clients and get some beta testers in here to help us out. But of course that's going to cost money, so we have to see what's the cost and weigh that against the benefit when we know how much work and time and frustration it's going to take to go out and do it ourselves. So we're not We haven't come to a conclusion yet, but stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we'll maybe try to talk about that in the coming weeks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's it. Mostly what I had for the Berri Wi-Fi update for this week. Russ, you got anything else?
Nope, that was it.
All right. Well, hey, appreciate it all. Thank you for tuning in. Please comment, like, and subscribe.
Please.
And, please, we need it. And please let us know what you would like us to talk about in future videos. Other than that, peace out, Biz Boys.